All right, what is going on, guys? So today was supposed to be the day that we got the Civic moving under its own power. Unfortunately, though, the shop that we share with a couple other people, well, Tyler rents, but we work here, is being occupied right now, so we will not be able to do that. So instead, we're going to be pulling apart this engine here. This is a B18A1 that came out of Tyler's Integra. I do believe there was at least a time lapse of this engine being pulled. I'm not sure if we filmed. I think we did film, but the footage was a little bit unworthy of a YouTube video for various reasons. But yeah, we're going to be tearing apart this B18A1. It's not going to be an in-depth teardown. We're literally just going to get the work done because we have nothing else to do. I mean, cool engine. We'll let you guys know if...
Cool engine, but it's a pain in the ass to pull out.
Yeah, that is for sure. So
if anybody has a 93 or a DA Integra and can pull the motor out and as fast as we can pull a D series, like, you want to come put it in, I'll give you $100 or something. Like, I don't, man, that's impressive. I'll give it to you.
So I know I said this wasn't going to be an in-depth teardown, but this is probably the most neglected engine that we have ever tore down, and I'm just going to show you guys why that is. So this thing had rod knock, that's what the previous owner stated, and just looking at the oil, you can't really see it, but this oil is just shiny as a... That's all I gotta say. It's shiny as frick. And there's chunks of metal everywhere, all in this engine, including pretty big chunks. This looks like at some point, I'll just show you guys what this is. That's where the distributor goes. This distributor still has the notches on it, but I guess at some point back in the day, they may have pushed that distributor a little bit too hard, and it caused an issue, and it was never even removed from here. So we got chunks of metal from broken distributors, Honda Bond everywhere, and flakes of metal all over the place. I mean, you can look at the bottom of these cam caps, and you can just see that they're not in the greatest shape. Now, we obviously didn't plasti gauge them or anything, so I can't tell you if they're in specs or not, but based on the look of this engine and the look of the oil in this engine, I'm going to say that all the clearances are pretty bad. I'm going to show you guys what this oil looks like in here. You can't really tell, but it's nasty. I'll try and get a good shot of some metal flakes here. But yeah. We're going to get the head off, and then we'll see how bad the damage really is.
Definitely some heat wear on those cylinders.
So, these pistons aren't even really carbunkled up too badly. I think this engine was rebuilt by somebody that maybe...
That shit's stuck.
I don't want to say they're dumb, but I don't want to say that they're experienced either, so...
This looks resurfaced. Ooh. No, that's good.
Yeah, this thing was definitely redone by somebody, but I'm not sure if it was redone the right way. The head... Lighting's kind of bad here because it's getting dark, but yeah, we're gonna pop these pistons out, I think, or at least drop the oil pan and give it a look. All right, so I wasn't lying when I said this thing was rebuilt by somebody that was less experienced than us, because this poor girl experienced. I mean, you can see inside of the oil pickup. There's a fat chunk of a rod bearing in there.
Show that oil pan.
This oil pan,
No, there's not glitter. That would be rod bearings.
Nasty, nasty, nasty. Oh yeah, there's just chunks. So this engine is, look, this is my finger after I ran it across the side of this oil pan. Chunks of metal.
What is this?
Rod knock would be an understatement. Hold up, let me pause the music. All right, so to put it in perspective, we're cranking it by hand and it's knocking.
On 2 cylinders. That's a nasty knock too.
Check it out, check it out. Woo!
There's a little bit of play in there.
That one's probably fine. That one's not bad. That one's good.
Oh yeah, that one's nice.
But this one, you can move that boy up and down. Yeah.
I think maybe the problem is they just forgot to put a bearing in there.
Who knows? We'll see in like 2 seconds when we pop it out. All right, so here's the one that was knocking. Here's the other side. Both bearings ended up on the same side, so she spun herself pretty bad. And the poor crankshaft took some damage from this. So is it repairable? I'm not one-eyed Larry, so I couldn't tell you off the top. I'm going to say the block's good. The crank might be fixable. We're going to continue this teardown. This isn't something you like to see, but it's something that you tend to see when it comes to buying Hondas. Pretty gnarly. Yeah. Drop a like so we can buy a camera instead of using an iPhone.
Yeah.
All right, so we ended up tearing it down just to the point of being able to take out the crank. But we are going to call it a night. This is Tyler's build, so I'll let him do a little overview on it.
Well, I'm happy that it's a rebuildable block. It's obviously pretty messed up. No, you guys can't really see it, but if you get the light just right, I mean, there's pretty bad scoring in all 4 of the cylinders. Needs some love. But I just want to remind you guys that beneath all the Civic builds and all the D-Series stuff and all the little crap that we do, there's more stuff to come. There's a lot more stuff to come, and this is just one of them. I mean, we got a lot of stuff sitting on the back burner that you might know about, you might not know about. You might know a lot more than you think if you follow either of us on Instagram, at Prelude or at Civic. Those will be linked also. But for now, this is going to sum up the attention on this. I don't really see a reason why we'd include this for a while. I have a lot to do, ordering parts and getting things ready. So we'll see.
All right, guys, so we're going to be working on the Civic today. We got some time in the shop here, but before that, we're going to be making a scrap run and then hitting up the junkyard to grab some parts for the EK. So this is, I'd say, all summer's worth of scrap, give or take. I mean,
it's about six to 8 months of scrap.
Yeah, it's a lot of, we can't use this.
Clean aluminum block. That's going to be our moneymaker right there.
This block,
$15 probably.
I can't really show you because it's buried in other scrap metal, but this block has a hole in it, so it's junk. I will say this auto tranny ran and drove perfectly fine, but that's really the only thing that's going to waste here is this auto tranny. But if we get the auto trannies off the road, then that just means there's more manual trannies on the road. So, but yeah, we'll see what we can get. Maybe we'll get enough to be able to fund the parts that we're gonna grab for that EK. We'll see, but
maybe it's enough for a Snickers bar.
Who knows? It could be $2, it could be $200. When we scrapped the Prelude, we got $14. So when you tell me your Civic's worth $500 at the junkyard, all I gotta say is
you're wrong.
All right, so we just got done at the scrapper. This is what we made off all of that. We made a whopping $57. So to put it into perspective for you, 8 months worth of scrap metal is worth $57 in today's market.
With 2 catalytic converters.
So yeah, and a bare block, bunch of stuff, torque converter, like scrap is down. So if you want to sell your car, sell it to us.
For $100.
Exactly.
Because we're not paying more.
So we're on our way to the junkyard now. This little $57 is going to be able to fund the trip. We'll catch you guys when we get there. Here we are at the local. A little muddy today, but definitely something we can handle as two big, strong men.
I don't like mud, man. It gets my shoes dirty, and I pay a lot of money for my feet.
So yeah, we're here for some EK parts for the project, and there might be some new drops here. We don't know yet.
Oh, always. Dude, I thought that was a CRX.
Oh no. Let you guys know when we get to a car. She found a little turbski on the ground, but she is not in the best condition. This definitely just a stock boy little guy, but nonetheless cool to see. Little Flowmaster muffler. Not much. It's pretty muddy out here today. We're kind of just doing our rounds.
Look at how clean this timing cover is.
We got a hood. It's green, but it needs paint anyways, so we're just gonna end up painting it black or wrapping it black. I honestly think we should just wrap it black, sand it down and wrap it. What do you think? That'd probably be a lot cheaper.
You got black wrap?
Somewhere. So I stumbled across a CRV auto, but the tack swaps directly into any EK. The tack that we currently have is a DX tack, because that Civic is a DX, so there is no, or not a DX tack, it's a DX speedometer cluster. But this CRV cluster has a tack on it, and it looks kind of cool. We'll see what they want to charge on this, but having a tack is a lot better than not having a tack, especially when you're, you know, trying to have fun. So I think this will be a nice little addition to the Civic. So Tyler's girlfriend, JC, you guys have definitely seen her in the videos. She's very helpful around the shop, and she also does her own little projects here and there. She's got her own little EK hatch, that red one, if you guys are familiar. But hers is also a DX, so we found this one. I found this sitting in a CRV. This isn't even from a CRV, but someone probably swapped it into a CRV. Or I don't know what the word was, but we got two, both autos. We're gonna see what they run us. Tyler had to grab some of these.
Got the
rear window regulators.
Homie down about 2 hours away. I just sold him a front end, so he'll be happy with these.
Yeah, so I think that about does it for today. We're not really trying to break the bank. I was gonna grab some stuff for the EG, but it was not cooperating, and we're here for the Civic, not our personal projects. But when you see stuff that your friends need and you're at a junkyard, you should definitely grab it for them. If it doesn't break the bank for you, you can make a buck off your homies. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying like, hey, I paid 20 bucks for this cluster. Give me $35 for it.
Pay for my gas there. You get a good deal. I get a good deal.
Exactly. So always look out for your friends. Like, seriously.
Let's hope that with these clusters, we have a hood also, and these regulators. Let's hope maybe we can not spend too much more than what we made at the scrapper.
Yeah, if we can do less than 50, that'd be nice, but we'll see on these clusters, because they like to
tax on the clusters. Last time I was here, I think they said 80 for one. Yeah, and I laughed at them. So
we'll see. All right, guys, so we actually ended up scoring pretty good on this run. Both these tacks, the hood and some window regulators, all for the same price that we got for our scrap. So this trip, minus gas and time, was completely free. And that's how you build a freaking Honda on a budget. What do you think about that?
Frick yeah, man.
Yeah, so that's how you build Hondas on a budget. You steal cats and then you sell them and buy a... I'm just kidding. We don't steal cats, guys, but yeah. Pretty good run, not too bad. Yeah.
We're about to have SPD knocking at our door after that joke.
Yeah, no, we don't. Both the cats that we brought in, you guys saw us cut both of them off. One was off the CRX and one was off my EG. Both OBD1 Honda, you know what it is. But yeah, I'll let you guys know when we get to the Civic. I think we're gonna have some time to install some parts on it today. Maybe we'll see you run down the road. All right, y'all, so we're back at the shop. We don't have a ton of time left tonight, but we have some parts that we're gonna throw on. We're gonna throw in this new speedo gauge, and then we're gonna throw on the upper control arms and upper ball joints, and then the tie rod ends. And then tomorrow we will tidy things up, get her running and driving. She already runs now, but we'll get her driving, and then it should just be odds and ends from that point on. So
interior, mostly interior.
Yeah, mostly interior.
This one will be ripping for sure before we got the interior, and we still gotta. Did you tell them what happened with the carpet?
So we dyed the carpet, and
we dyed the carpet black, and it turned out green.
Yeah, we dyed the carpet black, and it turned green for whatever reason. So we're working on that, but yeah, we're here now, and we're getting work done. So I'll let you guys know when something cool happens. So I'm just swapping this over right now. So all you gotta do is take out the 2 screws on the top. Boom, boom. You can see them on the trim piece. And then there's 1 clip in this corner, 1 clip in this corner. Pulls right out. And then there's 4 screws. Bam, 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 bam. And then you should swap it over. So yeah, once you get it out, you just repeat the same steps, but in reverse order, and boom, now we have a tack. And it looks pretty sweet in here. I like the orange a lot more than the blue, especially in a red car. So, what is up, guys? It's currently the next day. Last night we ended up spending some money on some parts. We picked up this Y7 head for a really good deal, and the guy also had some wheels laying around, and the budget Civic needed some wheels, so we ended up and picked them up. So it's 4 of these. I just have one up here right now. I just spent about 20 minutes polishing this thing up with some steel wool. On the camera, it looks really good. It definitely still needs some work. I literally just spent 20 minutes hitting it. So these will polish up really, really nice. They're just some Rep 5 spokes. Nothing crazy, but they're certainly a lot better than 2 Steelies and 2 OEM wheels. And they also came with some pretty decent winter tires, which unfortunately the winter tires aren't going to be the best setup for the Civic, but they're good tires nonetheless. So whoever ends up buying it will have a nice set of winter tires that they can run on it. But yeah, so we'll meet you guys downstairs. I'll show you the rest of the wheels, and then we're going to get started on the Civic today. We got to do the linkage and a couple miscellaneous things, and then we'll have some time to drive it.
Patch that hole, get those axles in, transmission fluid, linkage.
So
we got the CRV cluster in though.
Yeah, the CRV cluster's in. We're a little bit behind because we didn't have the shop, and I've been a little bit sick, but nonetheless, we're still out here working. Today is going to be a day full of progress. Probably going to be a late night because, like I said, we have some catching up to do. But again, I'll meet you guys when we get downstairs. All right, so here's the wheels. You guys can see that, I mean, just 20 minutes of messing with it really made the difference. So if we put another 20 minutes into each of them, maybe an hour a wheel max, just when we have a couple spare minutes, you know, or one of us isn't feeling good, sit down, polish them up, and by the time the Civic's done, these 4 wheels will be looking real shiny. So pretty excited on that. But yeah, we got some work to do, so we'll catch you guys when we start drilling holes. All right, so we're just cutting out a piece of sheet metal to cover up that little hole underneath. We're gonna try and make it look as nice as possible. Using the old piece that covered it, we'll just trace something out, cut it out, and then weld it in, and then paint over it, and it should be good to go. So the auto shifter cable thingamabobber has been covered. The welds aren't the greatest, but we welded them on the bottom so you couldn't see it from the top anyways. We're just gonna throw a layer of primer on there so it doesn't rust out. I'll show you guys what it looks like from up top. All right, guys, it's been a second since I picked up the camera. We got the tie rods in, the upper control arms are in. We are just tidying up the suspension. The new wheels are on. We didn't polish all 4 of them up yet because that can be done while they are on the car. The linkage is in now.
We need to buy one bushing, but you guys can see the linkage in there. Other than the one bushing that we need to buy, it's snappy. Yeah, we'll put it back up. We got to throw the exhaust back on. But if we can figure out a clutch line, we might be able to drive it today. So I will definitely let you guys know if we find out something to do for the clutch line. But yeah, we're going to throw the exhaust back on. We can at least toss it in gear now. We just can't change gears or put it in neutral without using the clutch pedal, you know what I mean. But yep, another day, another dollar. Good progress today. We're gonna keep working on it, and then I'll let you guys know when we can drive it. Yeah, why not? All right, so everything's good to go. Now it's just minor stuff and the clutch line. We're gonna see how these 15-inch wheels sit now. We haven't adjusted the coilovers at all, but these wheels are 1 inch bigger and about 1.5 inches wider. So we're about to see what the fitment looks like now.
Gotta go lower.
Yeah.
Definitely gotta go lower.
Yeah.
Drop by another 2 inches.
3.
9.
Let's just take the coilovers and the upper control arms out and slam it. All right, so everything's adjusted now. It's definitely going to be a lot lower without even having any weight on it. We're 3 fingers in the rear and
Front's gonna
probably,
sag either way because of those front control arms.
yeah, probably 4 or 5 in the front, but we're 3 in the rear now, at least 3 of my fingers. And before we were like 6, so it should have dropped down quite a bit. I would have shown you guys the process of adjusting coilovers, but it's really tedious, and 9 out of 10 of you probably have already experienced adjusting coilovers, but I'm sure at some point in the future we'll do another coilover install in depth. Kind of just excited to see how this thing sits now. I think that
Lowered, but we could definitely go lower. This front,
I think it's honestly,
I'd say it's definitely pretty solid in the back. In the front, we could go a little lower.
it ain't bad. It looks pretty nice. We could definitely go a little bit lower in the front.
Wait, hold on. Is it? Okay, it is off the lift, so that's full. Do we want to put it back up and bring it down a couple inches?
Just doing a quick walk around. This thing is definitely a lot lower. It's low enough now. It's low enough now that we are gonna have to jack it up in order to be able to get it off the lift. But I'll just
But that's not saying much because this lift is pretty high.
yeah, this lift is pretty high. Most lowered cars we need to do this, but
Most stock ride height Del Sol doesn't fit on this.
so yeah, we just need to get a couple miscellaneous odds and ends, and then we're good. Today was super productive. Shift linkage is in. Interior's still ripped apart, but that's because we dyed the carpet and it turned green. So we're working on that. We're putting the tranny fluid in right now. And then we got to put on the slave cylinder and figure out a clutch line. But other than that, everything is good to go. All right, everybody. So we are just about to wrap it up for the night unless something else comes up. We have a couple things to do yet, but other than that, she is looking good, sitting nice next to Tyler's EK. Along here with the EG and then Tyler's other EK, but pretty happy so far. This thing turned out to be not too bad. It's not done yet, but look at this guy. It runs and drives. Just drive it.
It's more fun this way. Oh, shit.
So something else came up, and we're not done for the night. We're about to take her out for her first drive. that concludes part 3 of the manual Civic. You guys saw it drive. You heard it hit limiter. And yeah.
This thing rips. This thing would walk any VTEC D series that you find. This thing's fun, man. The Y7 trans carries you so far. We don't have a working speedometer, but I will say from experience that the top of second gear on a Y7 trans is just shy of speeding on the road.
Yeah, so at the top of second, you're going the speed limit on the highway. And we were at the top of third in that video, so we were probably going the speed limit. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for part 3, guys. We've done a lot of work to this thing, a lot of hours and time put into this car. It's definitely worth it, though. A budget build is something that everybody needs to do at least once in their life, and I think this will be me and Tyler's, 20th budget build, but it's fun.
On a budget. What do
Yeah,
you mean?
it's fun. It's fun to do it on a budget, and it's really, really, really satisfying when you take an automatic car and 2 weeks later you're banging gears. So that pretty much sums it up for this episode. In episode 4, we'll be finalizing everything and making this thing pretty, getting all the little stuff done, and hopefully selling it to one of you guys. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you were new. Thank you guys so much for the recent support.
For real, we've been getting 1,000 views a video, and I mean, 3 months ago it was like, oh, it'd be so cool to make YouTube videos, and now we got all you guys watching. So it feels awesome. Like, just thinking about it, I'm getting the tingles. I mean, I love to do this, and I love to bring the joy to everybody else, and to see support. I mean, that's just awesome. There's no other feeling like it. So have a good one, guys, and remember, if you burn oil, hit that subscribe button.